standing at the water, casting your bread, while the eyes of the eye.
Okay, it is 1 minute after 6, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Thank you so much for being here. If any of you have ever heard me talk before, I always like to start with gratitude about how thankful I am for your support. We cannot do this without you. I always make it a point to clarify that as the sheriff, I work for the people. And I get that question a lot. Well, who supervises you? Or who do you answer to? And my answer is always the same. That is, the people of Tuolumne County supervise my actions. Every day is an audition, and I work directly for the people. And so it's important to know that, because in your Constitution, there's a reason why we have constitutional officers that are essential to checks and balances of government. That's why we have a sheriff. That's why we have a district attorney. That's why we have an auditor controller, a tax collector, assessor, and so on and so forth. And then ultimately a legislative board as well, that all work together, but all answer to the people individually. So when I say we can't do it alone, you are the key component of our success. If we don't have the support of the people, if we don't have your special trust and confidence, we cannot do what we do. This uniform belongs to you. The badge belongs to you, and it's a symbol. So the next stage of gratitude I always like to extend is to my command staff. And now I'll start from just kind of in line, or thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that. And not in any particular order. My captain, Robert Nikifork, he's my bureau commander for operations. My division commander of the patrol division, Lieutenant James Riley. Chris Hurtado, my lieutenant of all operations for custody, and Lieutenant Jake Ostoich, who is the division commander for investigations in TNT. So again, when I say that nobody can do this alone, these folks are instrumental to our success. They carry me to greatness. They try to control all of the operational tempo that involves the office. But again, we are always anticipating the issues that we might have and doing our best with what we have. And they do such a great job. I truly believe that they can do anything with nothing. John Flynn, Political Watchdog, here's your microphone.
Yes, John Flynn, Political Watchdog. Not wearing the white shirt, not wearing the tie. It's too hot. I'm here to give you a message from you. Tomorrow morning, you're going to be served with 2 federal lawsuits.
Can't wait.
And you are in violation of your oath of office.
Okay.
That you've already stated here, that you are doing this. And this has to do with, the first one is John Henchman. Your deputy served a writ of possession to the wrong address, Big O Flat. And he lives on 120. And the writ of possession is the wrong writ. It's supposed to be, I think, writ of execution. And the other person who wasn't served was Ty Robin, who lives there on and off. And he's not there. He wasn't served. Now, that's the first one. The second...
What was the question to the first one?
John Henchman.
No, the question associated with that, I'm sorry. So far, I've heard a statement. You're telling me something off of this paper, but was there a question on there?
Yeah, you're in violation of your oath of office.
Okay, thank you for that.
But there's another one here.
That's okay. One question at a time. I'm going to move on.
You didn't tell me there was one question at a time.
That's right. I'm telling you right now. So that's one. I'll come back to you for number 2. Who else had a question? Yes, ma'am. I'll come back to you.
How many of your officers are bilingual?
Oh, okay. All right, very well. How many deputies do we have that are bilingual? I'm going to take a stab at this. 9? Chris, help me out. 4 in the jail and 3 on patrol, so 7. Okay, so I'm going to say probably between 7 and 8, between custody and also patrol, bilingual. And I believe we cover Spanish. We also cover Mandarin and maybe another dialect of Chinese.
Mental health crisis.
Yeah. All of those things. And our deputy sheriffs are also trained in humility. This situation is outside of my capabilities. And then we say, who are you going to call? And they say, my sergeant. That's right. That's the answer. You call this. When in doubt, act in the moment. If there's not an active safety issue, but you have questions about whether or not this is outside your capabilities, you call that corporal or you call that sergeant. And we will get the resources that we need. Because at the end of the day, it's not about overtime. It's not about, oh gosh, how many people do we have? Or we really need to get this done, right? We're not playing those games. Our job is to create time, space, and energy. And we have a wonderful community that will support that effort. from all aspects, whether it's health and human services, behavioral health. If we need something, the last time I want to say we were in East County, Tuolumne area, and it was pouring down rain. James was standing out underneath the thing trying to stay dry, but nobody was dry. We were wet. We were in the command post. We were all these things we're talking. It was crazy. We had people from the community that were like, when you're ready, we have these pop-ups that they set up. They set up tables. They brought hot coffee out. We all got COVID right after that because we were in close proximity during COVID. But again, it's the whole community effort. And when there's a need, we all show up. So the answer to your question is yes, there's an extensive amount of training. I can't give you a solid number of hours, but I'll say it's adequate. I think it's adequate to give a baseline. It's adequate as you progress through the ranks. And the more repetitions you get, the more versed you get in it. And I would say the better you get at coming up and being creative in the moment. Because I say,
Standing at the water, casting your bread, while the eyes of the idol with the iron head are glowing. Distant ships sailing into the mist. You were born with a snake in both of your fists while a hurricane was blowing. With freedom just around the corner from you, but with truth so far off, what good will it do? Joker man danced to the nightingale.
It was a comment that the former Tuolumne County Sheriff made during a Board of Supervisors meeting in 2021 that prompted a Union Democrat journalist to look into sustained findings of misconduct involving 6 sheriff's deputies from 2018 to 2022. We spoke to the journalist who broke the story. Take a listen. Front page news in the Union Democrat, years in the making.
We've had a number of personnel issues. They have been so egregious that we've had to eliminate their employment or separate their employment for 5 deputies.
It all started with that comment in 2021 from retired Tuolumne County Sheriff Bill Pooley. What kind of went off in your mind when you heard that?
Well, it sounded pretty serious, so I started thinking there was a new law, as Senate Bill 1421, called the Right to Know Act, which would make those types of records, they would require law enforcement agencies to disclose them publicly.
So, Union Democrat editor Alex McLean put in the public records request about the alleged misconduct of 5 sheriff's deputies, later totaling 6, that same day.
Allegations of on-duty sexual affairs with a domestic violence suspect that a deputy had arrested. Another deputy is accused of engaging in sexually explicit text message exchanges with a woman who had actually come to seek his help as a assault victim.
So I was the division commander for that oversaw all of the investigations, and I believe it's 3. I actually personally handled 3 as the lead investigator. As a command staff, there's always an opportunity to reflect as we're dealing with these investigations starting in 2018, because this happened over a course of several years. We started noticing that there were certain gaps in oversight that could have been helped, or that could have helped in aiding and preventing potential future misconduct.
Sheriff VASQUEZ tells Fox 40 some of the steps they've taken, from additional training to more oversight.
Aside from having now 2 levels of management where we have captains that are present and lieutenants are present, both operationally and from a position of policy and best practice, the body-worn cameras really help in vetting citizen complaints and internal complaints, and they bring context to things. I agree with the fact that there were some mistakes made. If that's the word we're going to use to characterize it, I'm okay with that. But sometimes those mistakes don't allow you to be a deputy sheriff anymore.
That front page news, taking a lot behind the scenes for a small newspaper staff.
Trying to go through 900 plus pages of documents and piece together everything. It's definitely a challenge, but you just have to figure out a way to manage time and take it bit by bit, basically.
Because local news matters.
Right, it does.
And Sheriff VASQUEZ tells us that there will be town halls to discuss these findings that did come out. The date and time is still to be announced. In Tuolumne County, covering local news that matters, Kristen Barton, Fox 40
Yeah,
News.
it was interesting because during the warrants, I noticed the cops were taking pictures, or not during the warrant, prior to it, they were taking pictures. And I asked them, please don't take pictures of my vehicles in case, someone sees money here. And sure enough, they took pictures of it. Then what also ended up missing were my only set of keys for my Cobra, which I was preparing to sell actually. All my keys, multiple sets of keys for my 64.5 Mustang convertible 289, and my only extra fob for my 2005 Vet. So they've literally someone has taken all my keys except for one, left me with one key to my Vet. Kind of interesting because every time I fire it up,
Beautiful cars. Yeah.
the cars all fire up down there with the place they commandeered. All their cars fire up as soon as I fire the Vet up.
We'll see what they do now. Who's up in the RV up there?
Nobody. No.
What's today's date?
Yeah, I'm Scott Bruno. Today I think is the 25th, isn't it?
So that's right.
25th
Where are we at?
of May, and we're at 6252 N Ramada Drive in LaGrange, in my home. And I was asked some of the reasons why this case should be dropped. Primarily because number one is they originally came here on a warrant in which they were looking for drugs because my ex had been found to have 32 grams of fentanyl on her, which was planted, I believe, we both believe, and had 300 pills on her, which I'm not sure about. So they came on the warrant to find drugs and drug sales types of things. And in doing so, while they were here, apparently my ex told them that I had stolen guitars in my collection. So they just went ahead and wrapped up by taking my guitars and a whole bunch of stuff. They left me with evidence receipts of my property that count for about 31 pieces or so. Yet I've already counted well over 100 items that are gone, including a whole recording studio, as well as so many guitars, my entire collection of 30 years, all in told, probably worth well over $100,000. So additionally, the last part is that they, while they did leave the warrant information on a table in my house, the problem is they violated my Fourth Amendment by not leaving a list of items to be seized, which is always something the judge does prior to the warrant. Well, they would only give that to me many days later. And when asked why that wasn't given to me up front, they said because they didn't have printers in their car, and which is a crock. They actually probably took the recording stuff as well as all my guitars long before a warrant was even written for it. So it's very unfortunate. I got a bad feeling that the entire police group here, many of them are a little corrupt, to say the least. It's unfortunate. I'm 100% combat disabled. They knew this, and they've taken away my freedom. Even on Memorial Day weekend, I've had to batten down the hinges because they've essentially taken my ability to communicate, have set up shop all around my house, and trying to make me look like a drug dealer. I'm sure if I left, they'd probably hit me, plant a pill maker or something like that to finish me off, but it's not going to happen. We're going to go to court and we're going to fight this.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.